Hi, thank you for joining me today. Please begin in a seat, a kneeling position if possible, sitting either on a block or a blanket, allowing the bottom to sit on the heels. If that's not comfortable, just sitting in a regular cross-legged seat, allowing the shoulders to remain lengthened and tall over the hips. When you're ready, releasing the right hand to the ground. Inhale the left arm overhead. Bring a nice stretch to left side of body, gazing up, ahead or down. Breathing into the rib cage. Exhale, releasing left hand. Plant the left palm. Inhale, right arm overhead. Lengthening right side of body, filling the lungs, chest, breathing in and out through the nose. Exhale, releasing right hand to the ground. Bringing the shoulders up to the ears on inhale, and exhale, the shoulders around, down and back. Inhale, lift the shoulders, and exhale to roll them down and back. Inhale to lift, and exhale, release. Right hand returns to the ground. Inhale, left arm skyward or overhead. This time bring some movements to the shoulder, front of body, moving the arm forward and backward, opening the chest. Staying grounded through hips. Releasing left hand to ground. Bending into left arm. Inhale, right arm overhead. And again, moving the arm forward and backward, bringing slight movements, opening the chest, warming the shoulder, front of bodies, side bodies. Releasing right hand to the ground. Inhale, send both arms overhead, and exhale, both palms to heart center. Bringing an interlace to all 10 fingers behind the back, or bind where you can, and just allowing the hands to reach side to side, working into the upper back, mid back. You can raise the hands a little bit if you like, without bending too deeply. And then releasing both arms overhead as you inhale up, and exhale. Plant the palms to the mat and bring the body to a tabletop position. From tabletop position, keep the hands under the shoulders, knees under hips. Curl the toes under and sit back towards the heels, bringing a stretch to the backs of feet. If you want to intensify that stretch, you may sit up to the heels or lift the hands, or again, you can walk the hands back to the ground if that's too much stretch for the feet or much pressure for the knees. To release, bring the hands back to the mat and extend the arms in front of you to child's pose. You may tent through the fingertips to bring a greater stretch to the arms, relaxing bottom towards heels. Inhale, walk the fingertips over to the right corner of the mat. Keep the left fingertips in front of you and reach the right hand behind you, bringing an opposite stretch. And inhale, both arms back up, walking the fingertips to the left side of the mat. Keeping the right fingertips to the top of the mat, bring the left hand back towards the left heel, bringing an opposite stretch. And then sending both hands back to a tabletop position, keeping wrists under shoulders, hips over the knees. Lift the right leg skyward, bringing the right leg parallel to ground, flexing the right foot. If possible, lifting left arm at the same time, trying to keep body parallel to ground. If you're able, bring the left hand behind the body and bend the right knee, bringing a bind to the left hand and right foot, opening the left chest, shoulder, stretch to the front of body, and exhale, release back to tabletop position. Bring the left leg extended, left leg parallel to ground, left foot flexed, lifting right arm if that's comfortable, keeping a lift through the ribs and belly, body parallel, pushing and reaching actively. And then bend the left knee, bringing right hand behind the body, creating a bind if you can. You don't have to connect. It can be a gentle or soft bind, or you can press the foot into the hand, opening the chest in front of body. Exhale, release back to tabletop position. Curl the toes under and lift the knees just a centimeter or inch off the ground, engaging the core, pulling belly into spine, then stepping back to plank pose. Keep the body firm, shoulders over the wrists, soften down to the knees, untuck the toes, and lower the body to the ground. Bring the elbows into the rib cage, hands on the shoulders. Inhale, lift the chest off the mat, low cobra. Lengthen head to toe. Engage inner thighs, squeezing them together. Exhale, lower head and chest towards the ground. Inhale, lengthen once more, head to toe, lifting chest off the ground. Then curl the toes under, press up to plank pose, shoulders over wrists. And soften down to the knees. Keep the toes curled under and sit back to child's pose, bringing a stretch again to the backs of feet, like you did in the beginning. From here, press into the feet, engage the core, step up to top of the mat, lift to a halfway lift here. So keeping the legs straight and the back nice and parallel to the ground. Bring a bend to the knees, keeping the tailbone pointed down. Bring an interlace of all 10 fingers behind the back, stretching the shoulders. And then lengthen both arms up skyward towards chair pose. Keep the knees and hips facing forward. On exhale, rotate to the right, left arm forward, right arm behind. Try to keep hips facing forward. Inhale, both arms up, chair pose. Exhale, twist to the left, rotating upper body, left hand behind, right arm forwards. Inhale, arms up, chair pose. Exhale, straighten the legs, bring hands to heart center. Inhale, guide both arms up, and then bring both arms over to the right, leaning crescent, bringing length to left side of body, perhaps releasing right arm. Rooting through both feet firmly. Inhale, lengthen both arms back up, and exhale, lean over to your left, perhaps releasing left arm to ground. Rooting through the feet firmly. Breathing into right side. Inhale, both arms skyward, and exhale, come to your halfway lift. So folding forward, knees bent a little bit, back is parallel to ground. Again, you can bring that interlace behind the back. Release the hands to the ground, step the left knee back, bend the right knee over right ankle. Inhale up to a low crescent. Hips can sink forward slowly as long as the right knee's over right ankle. Shoulder blades relaxed down spine. And then release both hands to the right knee and open right arm behind you, twisting. Perhaps bringing right hand to the left leg, taking a small back bend or increasing your twist or stretch. And then release both hands to the top of mat, framing the right foot. Press back up to your forward fold or halfway lift with knees bent and back parallel to ground. Then exhale, place both hands to the ground. Step the right knee back, bring left knee over ankle. Inhale up to a low crescent lunge. Hips sink forward, shoulders come down the back. Engaging by squeezing inner thighs towards each other. Then release both hands to left knee and inhale, open left arm behind you, twisting, trying to keep hips facing forward. Perhaps releasing left hand to right leg, maybe deepening front of body stretch or tiny, tiny back bend. And then exhale, release both hands to frame the front foot, curl back toes under, press back up to your halfway lift with bent knees and a flat back. Bringing an interlace of all 10 fingers to the back, lengthening chest. Then inhale, both arms up, chair pose, bending the knees. And exhale, straight legs and hands to heart center. Inhale once more, chair pose. Exhale, rotate to the right, open arms to the right. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, open back arm to the left, twisting to left. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale into your fold, so chair fold, chair legs and arms interlaced behind the back. Inhale, halfway lift, knees bent. Exhale, plant the palms, step left knee back. Inhale, crescent lunge. Then release both hands back to the front knee and releasing hands to the ground, curl the left toes under, come up to a lunge or runner's lunge. Perhaps shifting the weight forward and back, working into the front of your hips, hip flexor. Really giving a stretch to that left hip. And then step up to your halfway lift with bent knees and a flat back. Interlace all 10 fingers behind the back, bringing a stretch to the chest. And then keeping these bent, inhale, arms up, chair pose. Exhale, straighten the legs and hands to heart center. Inhale, bend the knees, arms up, chair pose. Exhale, rotate to the right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, rotate to the left. Inhale, arms up, chair pose. Exhale again, interlacing chair. And then release to the flat back. Release hands to the ground. Step the right leg back, lower to the right knee. Inhale, up, low crescent lunge. This time releasing both hands to frame the front foot. And again, shifting the weight forward and backwards slowly. Bringing a stretch to front hip, right hip, hip flexor. Stepping up to your halfway lift with bent knees and a flat back. Bring an interlace of the fingers behind the back, opening chest. Keep the knees bent, lift the arms, chair pose. Exhale, straighten the legs, hands to heart center. Releasing the palms to the sides. And lengthen up on inhale, and exhale, bring both arms over to the right, side bend. Inhale, lengthen center. Exhale, arms to the left, side bend. Inhale, arms to center. Exhale, hands to heart. Bend the knees, lift the arms to chair pose. Exhale, rotate to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, rotate, chair twist left. Inhale to center. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. Keep the knees bent. Bring again that interlace of the fingers behind the back, but just for a second. And then exhale, straighten the legs. Release hands to the mat. Step the left knee back, lower to left knee. Inhale, low lunge, arms skyward. Exhale, release both hands to frame the front foot. Curl the left toes under. Bring a few pulses to the front of the hip. Bring both hands inside the right foot, walking the right foot out and lowering down to the left knee. I'll rotate so you can see me here, although my legs are opposite. So left knee is down, right leg is out. Both arms are inside the right leg. You can keep raised to the knuckles, wrists, or fingertips, whatever best suits your hips, your best stretch. Allow the hips to sink down and forwards. As you feel complete with the stretch, you'll bring the right foot back in towards the mat and release the hands to frame the front right foot. And having the back toes curled under, you'll press up to standing, that halfway lift with knees bent, flat back. Bring an interlace to the fingers, expand the chest, keep knees bent, lift the arms to chair pose, and exhale, come to standing with hands to heart center. And again, knees bent, lift the arms to chair pose. Exhale, rotate, twist to the right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, rotate to the left. Inhale, arms skyward. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bring an interlace behind the back for a moment, and then release hands to the mat. Step the right foot back, lower to right knee. Inhale up to a low lunge, left knee over ankle. Release hands to frame the left foot. Curl the right toes under, bring a pulse or so into the front right hip, and then walk the left foot out to the side, left side of the mat. Again, my legs are opposite you right now. Both hands come inside the left leg. You can come up to the hands, you can come down to the forearms, keep lifted through the fingertips or knuckles or wrists. Softening the jaw and muscles and face. Just trying to breathe into any areas of tension. Really noticing the in-breath and out-breath through the nostrils. Once you're complete, walking that left foot back in towards the center, curling the right toes under, and then you'll step up to the top of mat with the knees bent, halfway lift, flat back. Bring an interlace of fingers behind the back, expand the chest, come up to standing with hands to heart center. Releasing both arms to the ground. Inhale, lengthen arms overhead. Exhale, side bend right. Inhale, lengthen center. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale, lengthen center. Exhale, bring hands to the heart. Release both palms to the sides. And we'll work on just a bit of balance. So Here you'll start to shift the weight into your left foot as you rotate your right hip or knee in a few circles to warm it. As you shift the weight into the left foot, bend the left knee and cross the right leg over the left thigh, sitting into figure 4 pose. You'll bring a flex to the bent knee to your foot, grounding through your opposite foot, keeping hands to heart center, pressing into the hands. And go ahead and come back up to standing. Release slowly with control. Shifting weight to right foot, bending right knee slightly. Bring some warmth or circles to the left leg before you cross left leg over right thigh above the knee. And again, you'll bend into the right leg, sitting down to figure 4. Stretch for the hips, hands to heart center. Steady breath, keeping your focus in one spot. As you slowly stand back up, release with control. Hands to Samastitihi. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side bend right. Inhale, arms center. And exhale, side bend left. Stay rooted through the feet. Inhale, center. Exhale, and one more interlace behind the back. Small back bend if you like by expanding the chest. Sitting into your chair pose, bringing interlaced fingers up to bring a stretch to the shoulders. Release to that bent knee, forward fold. Hands come to the mat and step back, lowering both knees to the ground to tabletop position. Again, lift right leg and left arm on inhale. And exhale, bend right knee, bring left arm behind, binding if you can. Inhale, lengthen leg and arm forward, and exhale, bring them together behind the back or just close. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, bring a bend, open front chest. Or if not bound, finding a nice twist to the left. And then kick your left foot over to the side, lower your left hand down under the shoulder, lengthen right leg to the end of mat and right arm overhead. Or maybe you can lift the right leg off the mat. If you want, you can even come into a modified version of a side plank. Any variation of side plank or a nice stretch for right side of body. Releasing back to tabletop position on exhale. Next, inhale, lengthen left leg and right arm forward. Exhale, bring a bend to the knee and arm behind. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, bring a bend and open to the right. Inhale, lengthen forward, leg back, and exhale, bring a bend or bind. Again, you don't have to connect, but you can turn right, twisting right. This time you'll pop the right foot to the side at a 90-degree angle, left foot to the end of mat, left arm overhead. Stay here or lift the left leg, opening to a variation of the side plank. Finding your balance or just a nice stretch and opening for left side of body. And on exhale, returning back to tabletop position, curling the toes under, sitting bottom back towards heels, walking hands out in front of you and tenting the fingers, extended child's pose. And softening the tops of feet to the ground, sitting to the heels to child's pose, Balasana. Nice length in spine and arms. Inhale, as you come up to a seat, you can just cross the legs and find your way to a seat, removing the flesh from the bones, pulling the soles of feet together into Baddha Konasana, seated bound angle pose. So soles of feet will come connected. Hands will remain to the feet and perhaps elbows if they can reach, assisting the legs or shins or thighs closer to the ground and keeping the back lifted here. So you can take a small bend if that's okay, not anything deep, keeping a relatively flat back. As you come back up on inhale, you can extend both legs out in front of you, keeping legs connected to the ground. Inhale, both arms skyward. Exhale, rotate and twist to your right. Inhale, arms skyward. Exhale, rotate and twist to your left, just using hands for leverage against the legs and floor. Coming back to center. Pull the knees in towards chest, sit bones to the mat. Come into Navasana, boat pose, engaging the core, pulling low belly in. can keep one leg or two legs lifted, knees bent or legs straight, hands connected underneath knees or released. Keep the low back firm and chest lifted. Breathe fully through the nose. As you release, just come all the way down, releasing the elbows to the ground, so forearms under the shoulders, and bring a soft bend to the knees to one side and the other, sort of windshield wipers, bringing a stretch to the front of hips and front of body, side to side. So from here, keep firm through the core, low back connected to ground, draw the knees in towards the chest, and then keeping feet lifted off the ground, use your core to sit back up into Navasana or boat pose. Low belly pulled into spine, knees bent or legs straight. A few breaths here, steady breath, in and out through the nose. And then exhale, release feet to the mat. Keep legs extended nice and long, connected to the mat, removing flesh from the sit bones. Inhale for some length, and exhale, seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Here you can keep the back nice and high, so you're not trying to fold all the way over the legs to protect the low back. You can keep the hands connected to the toes or the shins or wherever you feel a nice stretch in the hamstrings without finding too deep of a fold forwards. Then keep the left hand connected to the right foot or right leg or right shin, and inhale, right arm behind to a twist. If you'd like, you can lift the right leg off the ground into a sort of bound twist here, twisting from the belly up. Release that leg to the ground if you lifted it. Inhale, both arms skyward. Exhale, release the hands again to the legs. Left hand to right hand to left leg or shin. Open the left arm behind for a twist. And if you like, lift the left leg off the mat. You can keep knee bent or legs straight. Again, twisting from the low belly up. As you exhale, release back to the ground. Mat. Bring both hands underneath the shoulders, fingertips facing forward, and press up, lifting hips and bottom skyward to reversed tabletop position. Pressing into tops of feet, hands, and slowly lower down. Bottom comes back down to the mat, and you'll scoot forward and just come back down to the back, allowing the back to just connect fully with the mat. Maybe just briefly bringing palms over heart center, bringing a sense of grounding after that chest opening. And then extending when you're ready, the left leg long, pulling right knee in towards chest, bringing a small tug or rock of the knee side to side. And when you're ready, flipping that right knee over the left side of body, perhaps gazing to right side, supine reclining twist. And when you're ready, coming back to center, pulling the left knee into chest, extending right leg long, perhaps bringing a bit of movement to the left hip joint or knee before you then cross the left knee or leg over the right side, perhaps shifting the gaze to the left, really letting gravity do the work here. And slowly coming back onto the back. And then just stretching the arms overhead, finding length, keeping the back fully connected to the mat, and starting to settle in. So you can keep the knees bent, soles of feet connected to the ground if you have any issues in low back. Or if you like, you can release both legs to the mat, placing maybe one hand on the belly or chest. Again, inviting a sense of grounding or maybe greater connection with self. Otherwise, just finding the most comfortable position for you to allow the body to relax, mind to maybe let go of any extra thoughts, feelings that are floating around. Really just using this time to let go of any control over the breathing. Just letting the air naturally enter through the nose and exit through the nose. And should you, at any point in the next few moments or minutes, need to redirect your attention back to the present, just bring the attention back to the rise in the belly on your inhale and the fall in your belly on your exhale. So following your own breathing, riding the wave of your own breath. And if it feels okay, maybe on the inhale, inviting a sense of peace or nourishment or appreciation towards self. Maybe exhaling to release anything not needed. Again, inviting a sense of peace or appreciation or nourishment on the inhale. Maybe deepening the breath or lengthening inhale. And exhale to release anything not needed. You may even bring some small movement to the body. Fingers, toes, a stretch of the arms overhead. Any movement that feels good. And just slowly finding your way whenever you're ready. Of course, staying here longer if you like. Finding your way to a seat and inviting a tall spine, shoulders stacking over the hips in your seat. And again, inviting that sense of appreciation, acknowledging the time you make for yourself, and finding a sense of connection to all those who appreciate the practice as well. Thank you so much for practicing today. Namaste. Hope to see you again soon.